Sometimes ago, there was fuel scarcity in Nigeria, shows that people had to queue for a longer period of time in filling station before the product can be accessed. In fact, some people will queue for a longer period of time and they will still go back home in frustration, all because they could not buy the product that shows an enormous time is devoted on. One very early in the morning, I took my vehicle, I went to a filling station that had premium spirit that is called petroleum in Nigeria. On getting there, the queue was so long, and there is nothing that can be done than to join the queue. I joined the queue, and I was on the queue in company of other drivers until late in the evening. When it was around 6 p.m., I and others in their vehicles approached the gate of the filling station. An order was given by the manager of the filling station that the day work is over and the gate of the filling station was closed by security men. We had to come out of our vehicle with others and were expressing our frustration that shows a time is devoted to buy the product and went back home with nothing. There was an individual whose approach to what we call frustration was a bit different from ours. It was a young taxi driver who equally highlighted from his vehicle, but he did not in any way join us in expression of frustration. He began to thank God. In fact, the terms that he was using to thank God were so deep that I cannot recollect them. I can only summarize it that he thanked God wholeheartedly. As he was thanking God, another order came from that very particular man who was the manager of the filling station. He said that the gate should be open, that the product should be dispensed to those who are on queue. I knew within myself that it was not expression of frustration that effected the change. It was the thanksgiving of this young taxi driver. We all bought the product and we were about going to our home, but I had it in mind to meet with him, to learn from him. I called him, he gave me audience. I told him, what type of spirit are you having? In midst of frustration when you're supposed to complain, you are thanking God. It was then that he told me that had been his approach in face of difficulty and challenges, in faces of provocation, that has been his approach. He shared one of the testimony with me that one day he took his taxi, that was the only source of his income, to provide for his own. As he was going out, a boy that I could call town boy, I think you understand, street boy, they had connection to him, mobilize people to fight for their rights, bash the vehicle of this pastor, and he highlighted from his vehicle that was the offender, only to bully on the pastor and said, you are the one that drove recklessly. I will show you something today. That was how he placed call to his friends that can come gang who could come there and fought on his behalf. Pastor said immediately he heard that, he began to thank God. Oh Lord, I thank you for giving this very man opportunity to bash my vehicle and to still mobilize people to beat me. Thank you, Lord, because I'm going to be beaten today. He began to worship God. In the process, the boys of that particular guy came back. What they did was, as they cited the pastor, they said, Pastor, are you the one here? He said, I'm the one. And eventually, they said, what's wrong with you? he told them that it was that man who mobilized them that bashed his vehicle. Do you know that the gang that very street boy called mandated him to take the vehicle of the pastor to Panel-Beating workshop and fix the vehicle? What are we passing across today? I want you and me to learn that in the face of provocation, in the face of challenges, when we are in crossroad, submerged by vicissitude of life, we should not resort into complaints. We should not resort into expression of frustration. We should try thanksgiving. Do you have an example of this in the Bible? Of course, yes. It happened in the day of Jehoshaphat, when he was king over Judah. 3 mighty nations rose up against Jehoshaphat to defeat his nation. Jehoshaphat took the matter to God. Later, he was led to do one thing, to lead singer who was singing praises to God, to lead the battle against the 3 mighty nations. Lo and behold, on that very day, they had no battle to fight. God fought for them. What God did against them was that he set a confusion among them. The 3 mighty nations fought against one another. Shows that no singular man escaped from the war front. What are you passing across to us today? What situation are you passing through? If you thank God, try thanksgiving, try praises, try appreciation, and you will see what God will do. I remain your host here, Richard Olaniyi Akiyemi. Have a nice day.